Hey guys, welcome out to the range. Today I wanted to bring y'all along for a handgun training session and wanted to show y'all something real quick. Ignore this. My basic setup for handgun training when I just come out to just focus on a little bit of handgun work is just a cheap little bag that I got from Harbor Freight, and it's got a couple of soccer cones in it that I use to lay out on the positions that I work from. Got my hearing pro in it, my shooting chronograph, several mags, and of course some ammunition in it. About 150 rounds or so. Not that I'm going to expend all 150 rounds on this, because while I like to invest a decent amount of ammunition for my training sessions, I don't want to go through a bunch of ammo. The first thing I'm going to end up doing is just going to be some dry fire practice. And I'm just going to practice drawing, pulling the trigger, drawing, pulling the trigger. And then from there, I will load up. In fact, sometimes, well, actually, I'll show you. Getting back to this setup, by having a lightweight, simple bag with just the very basic things that you're going to need for a quick training session, it allows you to set up quickly and get your training done. And also, this is so small that it can hide in your vehicle, and it allows you to go and run errands after training instead of having, you know, a range bag that's plunked out in your car where someone can walk by and go, oh, I know what that is. This is not part of the equation. This actually holds my cameras, but let's get going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the initial stuff is just done here. And all it is just basically fighting stance, draw, find your front sight. And it's funny because when you're target fixated, you're staring at that target, and your handgun is supposed to bisect the plane between your eyes and the target. And yet I find myself staring at this target, and I realize I am not seeing red, which is the red dot, the fiber optic front sight on my handgun. And it's because I realize that my gun is slewed to one side or the other, and the rear sight is blocking the front sight, and it forces me to pull my vision back and go, oh look, there's my front sight, which is kind of a crucial thing to have in case you, get into a gunfight. One of the things that you can consider doing this when you're doing this type of a thing is practicing the tap rack. When you get a click rather than a bang, tap rack. Don't do it too hard, because remember, your mag well is empty and those edges are sharp, and it will wear you out quickly. And by the way, I know that someone's going to go, oh, I saw his muzzle dip. Yes, you saw my muzzle dip. It is because as humans, we are accustomed to getting input. So the gun is giving me input. Every time I shoot, the gun goes whack, 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 whack. And because that whack, whack, whack isn't there, every once in a while you'll do this, because you are expecting the input from the handgun and it's not giving it to you. And the input from the handgun is actually forcing your musculature, the twitch muscles, to twitch forward to compensate for the rearward push. And when it's not there, you compensate for it anyways, and it catches you. People are all eat up about that twitch. Y'all need to get over it. And this, by the way, is cold, meaning that I literally just pulled up here a few minutes ago and started practicing 1606. And I'm losing the sun fast, because at this time of the year the sun's down by like 5:30. That one's off. Yeah, that was a bad grip. Finding your proper grip on the gun is crucial when you're doing this, otherwise you're throwing away reps. I'm moving too fast. Oh, come on. And when you've done enough reps, load up and go live. All right, 15 and 15. This is one of those seminal drills that is, it incorporates everything. Move, stop, stabilize, shoot, move. It's done in 15 seconds. It's 5, 5, and 5 for 15. So 15 shots in 15 seconds. And we're gonna do delay, part time of 15 seconds. All right, here we go. I'm gonna shoot it cold. Obviously, you want to stretch out before you run this drill. Otherwise, you'll end up hurting something. I've got damage to lower parts of my body, and so I did a really, really heavy-duty stretch out before I started doing this. Basically, this drill, the way I run it is anything inside of the head. That one broke the line, so that's a keeper. But anything inside of the borders of the head, we are good. There you go. That essentially leaves me with 2 rounds. So you could also practice attack, reload, push, pull, store the spare mag, get on the gun. But what I do here is I just run the drill 5, 5, and 5, or 5, 5, yeah, 5, 5, and 5. Come back, load up some more ammo, reset mentally, do it again. What's funny about this drill is I can't remember if it is start from the holster or start from the ready position, so I'm going to run this from the holster. I have it written on my teaching sheet that it has like every drill that I run in my classes, all the detailed instructions, but I did the basics in my phone and I dropped the ball on that, so I'm going to have to fix that. Oh, that was terrible. That was terrible. Oh, that was terrible too. Remember guys, part of what you're doing out here is you're working on the grip, you're working on the rapid placement of the hands. So if you end up with some jacked up grip, don't throw away ammo. Just reset and do it correctly. Which basically means I need to slow down. There we go. That's better. That's better. Oh, oh, clear that garment, Abner. I tell you, you know that shot timer is chasing you. You absolutely know that thing is after you. You know, it's like, it's just nipping at your heels. 14.18. First shot was 2.11 out of the holster. Okay, that's a lot of ammo on the ground. So let's reset and I'll do something else for you. I just realized as I was setting this one up, this one is 15 and 15. The one that I was doing before, left, right, left, is 15 to the third. Both of them are, fire 15 rounds. Both of them are typically dealing with 5-yard increments, but this one is 5, 10, 15. 15 is the barrel, and it's 5 shots from each position. And it doesn't matter if you start 5, 10, 15 or 15, 10, 5, doesn't matter. In fact, you really should do it both ways. The starting from here and working back requires shooting, turning, running, stopping, stabilizing, turning, shooting, turning. So starting from here is easier, but it's technically harder because you're eating up more time in the movement. man, come on. For those who are wondering why I'm missing, I'm target fixating. Instead of looking at my front sight post, I keep looking away from my front sight post and I keep glancing at the target. Is there a way to do away with that? I've not found it. In all the years I've been shooting handgun, I've not found it. Target fixation is just what you get. All the hits that I did are pretty much in there. What did I throw? 2, 3, something like that. So yeah, in this case, I can account for the missed rounds. They're right over there. But in the real world, and this, let's say that this guy was, let's say that I was shooting at him at the same exact height that he is, which is 3 or 4 feet off, I think it's 4 feet off the ground here. That round has more of a linear travel. And I could conceivably smack somebody 50, 75, 100 yards downrange and cause a lot of damage with one stray handgun round. Ticks me off every time I miss, but that's why I'm out here doing the work. Yeah, I outshot my front sights on that one. Oh man. And you know what, guys? I'm not gonna lie. Look at that. That's a miss, that's a miss, that's a miss, that's a miss. And this little bit of bullet fragment tells me that I hit probably around right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 misses. So an entire position was wasted on misses. And you're saying to yourself, yeah, but you hit. Okay, yeah, but I hit in the wrong place. I was aiming for central portions of the head. I hit him in the chest. Yes, I did. So yes, these are high central nervous system chest hits. But the point of this drill was, this is where I was aiming. This is where I inadvertently hit. Yay. That's not good enough for me. I have to keep working. That's why I'm out here. As you guys have heard me say before, when I had my LASIK surgery, my close-up vision suffered a little bit. And I had to, that was something that I went into, no pun intended, with my eyes open. I knew that was going to happen. I knew that I was going to give up a certain amount of clarity up close, but what I was going to gain in distance was going to be astronomical. And it really truly has been. So I'm having to come out here and retrain my eyes on what it is that I see when I point my handgun out in front of me. Do the work. All right, now we are going to do the church defense drill, which has a 5-second par. And it is buzzer sounds, which is the first shot. Why did my phone shut off? No, I'm not buying another phone. Has a 5-second par. The first beep that you get is the simulation of the shot fired from behind you. You then rotate, identify, and you can already be drawing. You then rotate, identify where the threat is. In this case, it's right there. And then you draw, acquire your shot, and take one headshot, one central headshot, and fold the bad guy. And then follow through and holster up. All inside of 5 seconds. If you practice this enough, you can do it. I've not practiced it for today. I've practiced it plenty of times in the past, but I haven't done it today. So, and by the way, every drill that you do, always do it cold, because it helps you not game things. Remember, guys, it's just me and God out here. You guys are out here for the ride just because I happen to bring the camera, but it's me and God. So if I'm lying, I'm only lying to myself. Because God knows everything. Actually, and this is kind of in a relaxed position. 5 seconds. Forgot to tell you. For me as a lefty, the rotation for me is always going to be clockwise because I'm left-handed. The last thing I want to be doing is rotating in the direction of a potential threat with my gun leading the rotation. So for me, I begin the rotation by snapping, listen to that, by snapping my head around and rotating, and about here is where my gun starts coming out. For you righties, obviously, you're doing an anti-clockwise rotation. .34, 2.34. Not too shabby for a big white dude from Puerto Rico. Yeah, newsflash, I'm a white dude from Puerto Rico. You know how I know I'm white? Because we have black folk in Puerto Rico. So, I'm a white dude from Puerto Rico. I don't think I need to point that out at all. You guys saw that miss. That was big, bold, and fwa! Man, out shooting my front sight post. Wow, that was ugly, but I'm leaving it in. I'll tell you guys, ever since I had my LASIK surgery, my eyes have been turned into binoculars, and my vision just constantly wants to find the furthest most thing and go, what is that? Because I can look at those trees in the distance, which from here are probably 60-ish or 70 yards, I guess. And I can see past the tree line, deeply into the tree line, and see I can see the bark. I can see the details on the bark from where I'm standing. But when it comes to close-up stuff, my vision's always like trying to look deep, so I'm having to totally retrain my eyes. So as you guys can see, once you work on this, that I should probably clarify what the 5 seconds is about. Hang on. Why 5 seconds? The first bang is the bad guy. And the first bang is the bad guy. And upon that first bang, the clock starts. Bang, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. And by the time you reach 5, if you haven't dropped this bad guy somewhere inside of this window, which technically really is only 4 seconds, if you haven't dropped this guy somewhere inside of this window, everyone's moving on you already. Remember, it doesn't matter if this is a church, place of business, a choir, a choir program, a piano recital, whatever the case may be. This is a congregation of people, a meeting of people. There's a bang, someone is killing folk, you have to identify, and the initial response from everyone is going to be a flinch and a clinch down. And at that point, as the person who's gone out of their way to train themselves to not lock up at the loud of a bang, at the sound of a loud bang, your instant response to a loud bang is reaching for your sidearm and tracking where that sound is coming from. I've told this story before, and I'll tell it again. Several months ago, I was at church, and there was one of those not cast iron. It was aluminum. It's made to look like cast iron. It was an easel, and there was something on it, like a placard of some sort. And someone knocked it over, and it just clattered hard on the tile floor of the lobby of our church. And it was such a loud, distinctive pop that to me, with all honesty, it sounded like gunfire. And I know what gunfire sounds like without these on, because unfortunately I've heard it a bazillion times. So to me, it actually did sound like gunfire. And I immediately placed my hand on my weapon and did this and started moving until I realized, and I looked deep and I realized that, the easel fell over and someone was picking it up. And I'm like, woo, okay, cool. But I'm wired for that sound. I'm wired to find the source of loud bangs. I keep forgetting that this particular position begins from a freestanding casual position. .38. 2.38 seems to be my consistent, solid default. That was 2.55 because I was really taking my sweet time. .54. Yeah, that was low. I think that was, I yanked the trigger on that one. Yeah, 2.39, I yanked it. .68. So you notice I still have so much accuracy, so much time. In fact, I'm going to do this like slow and deliberate this time. 3.19. There is so much accuracy, so much time left to buy you a world of accuracy. 3.01. At this point, there are so many hits on this thing, there's no point in me shooting at it anymore. So now I take off my Hearing Pro, I take off my Eye Pro, I go down, I give it a quick spritz of paint to erase all those bullet, or just sort of haze over the bullet hits, and I'll keep going. Do one of these for you guys where I show you one of the setups that I do for my students, which is I have a target at the 10 yards. It's not so much the church defense drill, it's kind of a modified version of it, but basically I have targets at left, middle, and right. So basically it's left, near, right, and then I have one just past this one here, like maybe that far past it, at a slight offset, which forces you to pay very close attention, because if you flinch, you'll end up hitting the person behind. And if you're a righty, I end up putting the target just to the left because I'm wired that way. And then if you're a lefty, I put the target just to the right, because lefties tend to flinch this way, and lefties tend to flinch this way, and righties tend to flinch this way. So I basically have the student facing me, and then the buzzer sounds, and as they're in rotation, I will say left, right, near, or far, one of those four. And it adds an extra level, man, it's cold out here. It adds an extra level of complexity to the drill and forces them to have everything mechanically in automaticity mode, so that all they have to do is remember the moment of identifying and pulling the trigger. And when I say automaticity mode, meaning, let's just imagine that there are 10 things that you have to remember in a gunfight. Well, I want you to get to the point where 9 of those things are just automatically wired in. The proper stance, the proper draw, the proper sight alignment, the proper trigger pull. Notice I didn't say squeeze. It's the proper trigger pull, the proper follow through, the proper sight alignment. Because remember, if I say fire 1 round, how many sight pictures should you have? 2. If I say fire 2 rounds, how many sight pictures should you have? Correct, 3. It's always, whatever you've been given, it's always +1, because you never assume that the shot that you fired actually did its job. It's shoot, find that front side post again. You have to be desperate to find that front side post. I mean, you have, like, imagine you are drowning. That front side post is your life vest. You have to find that front side post, okay? That was low. I had a feeling I was beginning to hit low. It's one of the things I end up doing when I start moving a little too fast. Now I'm going to aim this one higher up on his head. Left eye. That was a flinch, but that was better, and that's higher where I want it to be. That's in a. Okay, let's have that discussion real quick. When you're talking about incapacitation hits, I think this is off. Incapacitation hits. People are very focused on the kill shot. Forget the kill shot. That's fantasy. This is a handgun. Okay, handguns. Blah, blah, blah. That's another rabbit trail that I just went down in my brain at synaptic speed. Let's not even go there. What I'm after is the incapacitation hit. How many times have you been in a fight and someone has just clipped you hard across pretty much anywhere above this area, right? Your ears ring, your eyes will wiggle waggle, you'll kind of double over and you'll just like, oh man, I need a second. That's what I'm after. All I want to do is stop his behavior. That isn't fuzzy speech. I truly just want to stop his behavior. I want to modify his behavior so that I don't have to kill him. Someone's saying, well, yeah, you shot him in the head, that's a kill shot. No, it's not. You know how many times people get shot in the head and they survive it? Y'all, please. Seriously, was that the same spot again? Yeah, because I moved too fast. Left eye. 3.04. I have to focus. Focus! Jeepers, man, I got a thing for that left eye today. 3.32. That's better. If you're wondering what I was doing, oh really? I put my mag over there. If you're wondering what I was doing just a moment ago, when I held my gun up and looked at it, every once in a while, you need to get a good look at your rear sight to make sure that it hasn't migrated to one side or the other, because it can happen. If you train as hard as I do with your handgun, you are going to eventually whack your rear sight around enough that it's going to kind of move on you, so consider that. All right, it's getting dark and it is getting even colder, which means I am done. So that's 45 minutes, I'm not even quite sure. 45 minutes to an hour. Obviously the cut down video is not going to be that long, but it's been about 45 minutes to an hour of really good solid training time. This particular training session I invested, way more ammo than I normally do because of the 5, 5, and 5, 5, 5, and 5, 5, 5, and 5, 5, 5, and 5, 5, 5, and 5. So I've invested a crap ton of ammo. But many times what I come out here and do is this one right here. So like you guys have heard me say like a bazillion times, putting in the work is really what it is to be a Tier 1 citizen. It is to come out here. For me, this is the end of my work day. I was up till past midnight last night, got up this morning, made some slings, ran some errands, checked in with my daughter to see if she needed a ride home from work. Nope. Then I'm going to the range. And came out here, put some work in, like I said, about an hour. And folks, this is what it is to be a Tier 1 citizen. I am just like you. Ladies and gentlemen, I am just like you. I have responsibilities. People think that I make a lot of money at this. Guys, I do not make money off my YouTube channel. If you haven't noticed, there are no commercials when you watch my videos because my channel is not monetized. And I don't have a Patreon. That is by choice. Someone asked me recently, why don't you get a Patreon? And I'm like, because I don't want to be a dancing monkey on the end of a rope. I make my money off upper receivers and rifle slings, and I thank every one of you that have been buying upper receivers and rifle slings. And with that, I thank you all. God bless you all. Get those guns out and practice. Have a good one. Now I gotta pick up brass.